Hey everyone, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. This channel, Mick Ruby here with some footballing content for once. And because I promise to God I am sick to my teeth, we are a football content channel, not a gossip channel. We're not going to here to talk about Sancho. We're not going to talk about Anthony unless you guys in the VR room, in the chat room, wants to talk about it. So, drop a comment if you do want to sort of reflect on it. But other than that, I think it's just hearsay regarding Anthony. I have a stance to say wait until evidence is presenting itself. Until then, I hold my peace. And Sancho, it's just getting boring and boring and boring. And that's all what we can read in the headlines at the moment. But anyway, we have some fresh content. Big up to all of you in the VR room. I can see you. I can feel you. Let's give it a shout out. Who is in the room? Let's see. I see Angie's in the room saying, good morning, Angie. How you doing? And Jarle Malmin is also in the house. Angie's also saying, we need Sheikh Yassim now more than ever. 100%. How are you doing, Angie, today, by the way? Maybe we get a surprise at the Glazer will announce that our new owners sooner than expected. Well, there's a little bit of a theory what we've been discussing on this channel. We've seen that the takeover news is kind of rumbling on, and hopefully we get new owners in by before the Christmas at the end of the day. So that means that if we do get new owners, that will booster up our transfer January window. We have approximately, if we clear the FFP debt, we have approximately 50 to 60 million then to spend. So we're going to talk about that as well. Billy Connolly, sorry, mate. Palhinha and Leonardo would be a good addition. Good morning to you, sir. The team to bolster the midfield as Casemiro legs is getting a bit, and Leonardo will be pressure of Hoyland second part of the season. 100%, Billy. Big up to you. Hope you're doing well. Ashid is also Yali saying Amrabat is playing for Morocco. Looks like back injury was false. Yeah, this is the thing, right? I think that media has been creating a storm regarding our players and signings, been downplaying. I mean, everyone was kind of before Rasmus Højlund was signing for Manchester United, everyone was waxing lyrical how good this wonderkid is, and same with Amrabat. And as soon as they sign for Manchester United, all of a sudden they are gash, if you know what I mean. They're shit. Good morning, Ashid. How are you? How are you? So anyway, listen, I know it is a lot of, it's not easy to be Manchester United fan at the moment, to be honest, to be fair, you know, because media is having a meal. We are not playing football. And of course, there's going to be a lot of stories to be generated. And as a community, what we are here for, as I said, like, we're here to talk about, United fight, Manchester United footballing content. And, I think at this channel, we talked a lot about the case of Greenwood, the case of Anthony, the case of Sancho. It's just getting boring, and I can see a lot of people just repeating, rinse, wash, repeat. So anyway, I thought this morning we will actually talk some football and some transfer news to be positive. Good morning to you, George Bestie, all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Morning to Jarvis Cocker as well. How are you doing up in Norway, Jarvis? My wingman. Billy saying he's doing well on my way home from work. Lol, big up to you, big up to all of you anyway. Sir Jarvis is in the house. Carlos is here. We can see you. Good morning, Mick, and the rest of the Manchester United community. Big up, big up, big up. So listen, while we are piling up with the VR room, let's just dive right into the stories. Like, obviously, we're going to go look at the Palhinha. This is something that, it's interesting. As soon as I see some linkage, I always connect the dots. And based on my experience that worked in the transfer market, it came out yesterday, late last night, that there's a certain interest in Joao Palhinha could move for Fulham in the midfield of January. Of course, this came down from a report from Athletic, but it certainly has legs, because if you look at it, like, Bayern Munich came in for a late bid for Palhinha, right? We saw that he traveled down to Munich, he did his medical, he had personal terms agreed, but it was all collapsed because it was kind of late, Fulham, on the other hand, was looking to replace, and Fulham was in talk with Manchester United regarding Scott McTominay, but that didn't capitalize. And the reason why I know it, because the company that I did intermediate for was actually handling the club to club move for Scott McTominay, hence what I can talk about it. A little bit bummer for them because they missed out on a perfect transfer window. But at the end of the day, like, what it comes down to, Joao Palhinha is a fantastic midfielder, right? The Portuguese Magnifico from Sporting Lisbon. He had great success with Sporting Lisbon. I mean, he came to Fulham, and of course, he's eyeballing to look for a bigger move. So 100% like going to Bayern Munich or Manchester United, but there is still hope. There is still hope because January window is only like 4 or 5 months away, and hopefully we get new owners so we can revisit that. But it was reported, according to Athletic, that Manchester United are interested in bringing him to Old Trafford for potential swap deal with Scott McTominay in the January window. Um, well, it is sad because we couldn't obviously do our old business at once. We had a lot of outs, we had a lot of wishful targets, and at the end of the day, if you can't complete your dinner, you at least finish the dessert in January, according to my opinion. Now, Scott McTominay is a homegrown talent, certainly has some value. He certainly offered something for Manchester United ever since he came up through the ranks of the academy. So for Fulham to sign him, I think that is a great move for Scott McTominay if it happens, because I do believe that Scott McTominay might offer something better for a lesser team than playing for Manchester United. Coming off back of this, just to sort of revisit, it come from today from United Faithful in an article this morning from the One Football app, saying that Fulham are set to revisit the interest in signing Manchester United midfielder Scott McTominay during the transfer window. So we are back. We are back, basically. We couldn't get rid of likes of Scott McTominay. We couldn't get rid of the likes of Harry Maguire. But we know that if we couldn't get that through the door, at least we have the January window. So let's dive into the story, people. Big up to Welsh Girl, I can see you. Big up to Stephanie Griffith, 11 likes. Please smash the likes. And you guys can see yourself in the chat room. What are you saying, Angie? What is the story about the guy who worked for Manchester United years ago who is convicted for pedophilia? I don't know, Stephanie. I'm not going to dive into those stories today. As explained, we are here to talk about footballing matters, as we are not a Vanity Fair gossip magazine here, if you understand. So Fulham are exploring a deal to sign McTominay on the deadline day. Obviously, we are revisiting the story with a deal to seal Palhinha to Bayern Munich. But the Cottagers pulled out the plug since the exit after failing to find a substitute replacement. Now, they were definitely in talks with our client, Scott McTominay, at that point, but it was not time to complete the deal. And that's what the true story, why then they have to recall Palhinha back to Fulham. Of course, the player is very upset. He wanted this big move. But, at the end of the day, he can play for another couple of months and revisit in January. There is legs in this. But the question is, do we really need Palhinha in that midfield now that we have Sofian Amrabat, we have Kobe Menu coming back from his injuries? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the chat room as well. I will revisit what you guys are saying. I'm just going to read out the stories for you. However, Bayern Munich are definitely going to revisit this as well. It's going to be stiff competition since they lost Gravenberch. So they let go of one and didn't manage to replace. So Bayern Munich are ready to return in the winter window as well to sign Palhinha. And Fulham will again assess potential replacements. Now, Palhinha's brother and agent Gonçalo said that the midfielder's move to Bayern is just postponed. There's also said that he's very interested to play for Manchester United. They basically killed his dream. He imagine yourself, you set yourself on a plane, everything is set to go. You're full of endorphins, you're flying down, shaking hands with the Bayern leadership, and you complete the medical and only to find out that you have to go back on a plane because your deal is off. Imagine that setback. It's like you getting a job offer, you sign for your dream employer and only to get that offer retracted. Imagine that disappointment. But also, according to the Evening Standard, right, McTominay remains on Fulham's radar as well. here we go. The dots are connecting. With Scotland's international having struggled for regular first team form at Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. So McTominay made just 10 Premier League appearance stats last season, yada, yada, yada. We know the summer signings of Mason Mount and Sofian Amrabat have increased the competition for a place for the 26-year-old expected to be available in the January window. Fulham also considered Pierre-Emile Højbjerg as a replacement for Palhinha. Ooh, that's a downgrade, though. Having to held discussion regarding the Danish international with Tottenham on the deadline day. Now, guys, let's discuss this. Let's unpack this story. Let me see what you guys have to say, because we know that as reiterated in this storyline, like we seen what happened in the in the summer window, that the deal was there to be made for Scott McTominay to Fulham, and Palhinha was meant to go for Bayern, but it all collapsed, right? So, do you guys think that we can offer something? I'm sure that Fulham wants something 60 million for him, euros or pounds, but do you think that Manchester United could do a sneaky deal to say, hey, let's do a deal. Like, we are very interested in Palhinha. He will fit our system, is a fantastic player. Palhinha's ability to break up the play, his aerial duels, offer something different, to distribute the ball, be a ball carrier. He could certainly add another dimension to Manchester United other than what Scott McTominay or Scott McSideways could do. So, do you guys think that in a real world, in a real case scenario, if things happens in January, that Manchester United can come in and say, "Listen, let's do a swap deal. We give you Scott McTominay for 45. We pay you the middle fee or 20, whatever we can negotiate, and happy days," to snob Bayern Munich at the end of the day. I want to hear your opinions. I want to see what you guys are saying. Let me go to the VR room. Morning. Let me see what you're saying. Anyway, let me see. Let me catch up. Yeah, big up to you, Compost Smurf. Welsh girl, how the hell did we got net let go of Scott in August? Well, listen, Welsh girl, it was simply not enough time. He was set to West Ham, then Fulham came in, and at the end of the day, like the window is the window. Like it closes, you simply don't have enough time. What are you saying, Jarvis Cocker? I don't rate Palhinha. Fantastic defensively, but lack in almost every aspect going forward. Don't believe he will suit our club. Well, it's a valid point there, Jarvis, to be honest. Like, you always speak with a great footballing mind, but at the end of the day, like, it's what Ten Hag sees as well, what fits in the system. So I can sort of argue to the point as well. I can sort of agree with you that, are we good in our midfield at the moment? Are we stashed? Looking at we brought in Sofian Amrabat, that might play more of the CDM role, number 6, and free up Casemiro to play more as a box-to-box number 8, and playing with Bruno or Mason Mount. We do have options with Ericsson all of a sudden and Kobe Mainoo. So is that a midfielder that we really, really need, or should we just focus on the centre-back situation in January? I certainly believe that we don't need to revisit the January window with the midfielder. I think in that case, we'll more focus on getting that Mason Greenwood replacement, or getting another striker and potentially a centre back. Ship off Harry Maguire, as what we attempted to do. Let me know what you think, Jarvis, as well. And let me see. Willie, you say you wouldn't mind Palhinha, maybe a Tuchumani. Well, we can always fantasize, but at the end of the day, what's realistic? Almac, good morning to you, sir. Long time no seen. I think the trade rumors are just a distraction from scandals. We couldn't even afford Amrabat, expect a loan. Yes, Almac, we're going to talk about that as well. You raise a valid point, because how much did we spend and how much were we given? 150 million pounds, and that was always the credit overdraft used by Bank of America, pledged in December, if I remember. That's why in January we didn't go for any signings. We just look at loans. So the summer window was a Bank of America draft. That was not Glazer's money. It was pretty much credit card, and we had to wheel and deal with finesse deals, right? So that's why you saw the major focus on this window was to focus on the outs. So if you do look at the stats, how much we actually pulled in, I think we signed approximately 4 signings of our own, which was Mason Mount, Andrew Onana, It was Rasmus Højlund, the goalkeeper, and that was pretty much the four signings that we bought. The rest was kind of the loan deals in terms of Sofian Amrabat and also Serge Reguilon. So, in all, in total, I think there was about 7 ins, and we spent the money that we could have spent, and the rest we have to just to finesse. So if you look at the overall, sales figures, we sold about 23 youth academy players and deadwoods out, and we loaned out 4. So that was, according to my opinion, a massive move out. But in the end of the day, we could not complete all the signings, and doesn't, it makes sense to me to say, okay, if we couldn't, get this done now, let's just do it in January, potentially when we do have new owners as well. So that's just my theory. That is my belief, and that is the way I see the transfer window and football operations in general. Jarvis Cocker is saying Tushimini would be a different ballpark. 100% it will be. But the question is, do Real Madrid really want to sort of sell him off? I saw some silly article today in the Manchester Evening News regarding, again, in the January window for Frankie de Jong, XYZ. And it's like, nah, that's what we see. We moved away from the Frankie de Jong, like, signing Amrabat, you know, potentially look at a Palhinha, XYZ. But you never know. You never know. We know that Papa Eric never deviates from his targets. Maybe one day he will revisit and get Frankie over the door. I'm not sure. Anyway, what you guys are saying, Stephanie Griffin are saying Palhinha would be a good signing, but another higher wage prefer a youth having a pathway to the first team like Maino, Hannibal, Gore, etc. 100%. And that's the thing. It comes down to the point what I'm talking about, because Ten Hag has numerous times said that he only wants to keep the youth academy that has world class potentials. Like, so he obviously identified, like, Maino, Hannibal, Gore, Aaron Hansen, Ori, and all them, Jazz, Alvaro Fernandez, as a potential, starters as well, right? So to get rid of 23 or 22, 20, like youth academy, honest to God, like, that's ruthless. But at the end of the day, like, not everyone's going to make it to the first team. So might as well just get rid of them. What's irritating is that we got rid of them for peanuts, like, some undisclosed fees. We saw the likes of Iqbal getting sold for 1 million. That's peanuts. That's absolutely peanuts. What are you saying, Almac? Get in there, my son. If the Glazers are staying there, we are signing no one. That's the truth. Almac, yes. On the other hand, I did a report yesterday. The financial reports, if you look at it, they are pretty much effect, to be honest, if in layman's terms. They're screwed. Um, of course, they've been looking to stay on as long as possible because they can see the way football is going, like, with the VR technologies. People are going to wear, like, body cams. You can see how it looks like for how Bruno is running. But at the end of the day, who would pay $5 to see, like, Bruno jumping around and being petulant? I wouldn't. I want to see the game in real time. Um, but we are in a financial crisis. It is, probably heading to the worst crisis since 2008, with the credit crisis. And, we've seen that the minority investors has been there. Everyone looked at the books, and the club is well overrated, like in terms of valuation. So 6 billion, to be honest, is way over. The club is not worth more than 4.5 billion, to be fair, right? So fair play for people that have been hanging around to say, look, this is the final offer that we're giving you, whatever that might be, $38 per B shares. That turns out to be 7 billion or 7.3, what's been reporting in the media latest. At the end of the day, there's no way the Glazers can stay in terms of the current operational market. They are broke. They are stint. We literally had to go and scrape the barrel in the transfer window. We literally had to finesse deals to sell to buy. We were given like 150, 120. That was overdraft the Bank of America. Eventually, that credit needs to be returned, right? Kieran McGuire did a report that we have now an interest rate over 970 million in interest to pay. It comes a time where Bank of America is saying, okay, enough is enough. You maximize the credit card. We're not going to give you more credit. So you have to pay us back by 2025. So I do believe that a sale is now imminent in this year, to be honest. I do believe so. That's just my opinion. When it will happen, well, hard to say. Now we completed this situation with Greenwood, we completed the transfer window, and the next thing is to get the Glazers to sell. Right. I do expect within the next month to have an imminent result, right? Because the sales takeover was paused during the transfer window, not just basically to disrupt the overall transfer strategy to say, look, we don't have any money, we don't want to overpay, this is a strategy. But now that's over and done. Now let's get on with the takeover. That's it. 19 likes. What is this? Okay, 19 likes. Ramo, what are you saying? I think he will go to Bayern in January. We have no chance and compete with Bayern. We see Ten Hag has some certain pulling power, but right now the media is trying to destroy it. So all we can do here, peeps, is back the manager. Don't let the media destroy this beautiful club, and always focus on the Glazers who actually create this divide and conquer. Alistair Dirks, good morning to you. Alistair, how you doing? Where are you from? And the Manchester United community. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, 100%, Alistair. Good that you're seeing that. We all must stay united, not divided. Good times are not far away. This is exactly what I said to you. You know, I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that because this is what we have to do. In tough times, we have to stick together and weather out the storm, right? There's no this I refuse to come on today and speak about allegations and what's going on with Anthony dos Santos unless you want to talk about it. But yesterday there was a gentleman called Madhouse and myself. We were sitting watching Flying Pig United and chatting away, and I was saying that look, what they're saying in Brazilian media is totally different what the British media is saying. At the end of the day, British media is reporting that Brazil squad dropped Anthony dos Santos, but on the other hand, what they were saying in Brazilian TV is that his agent, that I know well as well, Junior Pedrosa, advised his client, which is Anthony, for him to withdraw himself, to take himself out of the limelight. And that is exactly what happened. So he wasn't really dropped. It was him that pulled out, according to the Brazilian TV. What are you saying, George Bestie? McTominay would run there, and I don't blame him. Instant trophies, 100%. Jamie Wen, big up. Good morning to you, Jamie. How are you doing? Who let the dogs out? Good times are coming for the club very soon. 100%, my friend. Stay beautiful. Almac is saying Fulham wanted McTominay, but he refused to leave. No, he didn't. He didn't refuse to leave. Because what I'm saying is because I was intermediate in this part of the. I mean, now I can talk about it. Uh, the deal, we just didn't have the time to complete the deal. If you remember, it was the last time, last minute, like in the last deadline day. So it just didn't capitalize. But they're definitely interested in Scott McTominay, and we see if West Ham is also interested at the end of the day. Smash the like, people, smash the like. But Angie saying, how many likes do we have? I see you in the VR, and big up to all of you. Drink a coffee if you don't mind. And if you also want to buy me a coffee, there is a link there below. You can see that yellow. Support me by buying me a coffee. It's absolutely donating if you have a heart, because Mick loves his coffee. YouTube doesn't pay that well, to be honest, and we do slave a lot in this kitchen to deliver you this positive content. So, I love my coffee. If you want to support, donate, buy me a coffee by the link below. Choose how many coffees, pizza, beers, or whatever. And obviously, I can pay Jarvis more Snickers, if you know what I mean. Smash the like, people. Smash the like. Let me see what you guys are saying. What's Billy saying? Panillion looked down at the dumps when traveled to Germany. He definitely wants a move somewhere else in the pain in the backside when it plays against us, proper pressing to teams, device and attacks. 100%, mate, 100%. Yeah, he's a totally different prospect what we have in the team at the moment. Like, we discussed this yesterday. I mean, Amrabat has the overall package, but one thing that Amrabat lacks is, he's a little bit afraid of the aerial duels. So there's something he can improve. But defensively, this guy is absolutely tank Sherman, if you know what I mean. Alien Tenor, good morning, Peter. How are you? How's things? Morning to you in the chat. Lucifer Morningstar. Well, Morningstar, of course, is Morningstar. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Bruno, in the picture, profile picture. Let me see. Are we getting warmed up here? Kenny Fan TV, big up Mickey, just came from KG's channel. Oh, you were in KG's channel. How's KG? KG the comedian. Big up, follow Kenny there as well. Brilliant, brilliant. This is not a call-in show, by the way. It's just me talking about the news and talking to you. It is a slow day, bestie. There is no news about Jan's transfer. Wow. You know, as I said, I refuse to talk more about this situation. Let dogs lie. Let the investigation take its place. All I can see is just hearsay regarding the Anthony Dos Santos stories. There's no proof. There's no evidence, and I don't want to be that person to cast a stone. It's like if you do know, if you ever watched the Monty Python movie, what's it called, Life of Brian, where you have a scene when they're actually accusing somebody. It's about stoning, and they're about to read the verdict. And back in the days, there was not allowed to have any women in the audience, but everyone was dressed up as a man with beards, and they all started to throw the stone before even the man was guilty. If you remember that scene, and the guy goes like, John Cleese says, is there any women in here? You goes like, no, 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 no. And they changed. And they start throwing the stones before the man got his verdict. So I refuse to be that person. I always believe that facts should be the number one. Um, what do I say? Oh, well, you should always have the fact before you cast the judgment and the verdict. And unfortunately, in the back end of the Me Too movements, in the back of Mason Greenwood, it's more about moral standards versus facts and figures and legal jurisdictions. So I don't take any stance. I hate violence. I hate domestic violence. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of hearsay, and we will see. Let this play out. Let dogs lie for now. Whoa, 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 whoa. KG is live. Yes, he's alive. Ah, yeah, he was in Sydney, wasn't he, KG? Say hello to KG as well, guys. 100%. Big up to you. Let me see. All right. I'm talking to you, Marquis, all the way from Denmark. Morning to you. Let me see. Okay, let's move on with the stories. Jamie is also here when Jassim takes over United. What sort of signings do you think will make under the new owners? Big question, Jamie. I'm not the first thing that I would do, Jamie, to be honest, and this is my opinion though, I wouldn't look at the signings per se. I would more look at the football operational team. Anything above Ten Hag, get rid of those, ex Woodward appointments. Potentially look at bringing in a new sporting director, replace Murtaugh, um, replace the CEO, put in place that understands football, because these people are bankers at the end of the day. The lack of our success as a club is lack of football knowledge, lack of vision, lack of planning, lack of cohesion. It's been treated like a bank, and that needs to go 100%. And then I will bolster the squad. But if you ask me if I would Ten Hag, there's nothing more that I could do. I think in January window, I would definitely look at to still continue to get rid of the deadwoods, like Harry Maguire's, like the Scott McTominays. Bring in a centre back, because we can simply not play Johnny Evans, right? Johnny Evans is not the solution. It's just paper over the crack. Get rid of Harry Maguire. Bring in a Todibo or whatever Ten Hag fancies. Unfortunately, we missed out on Kim Min-jae. If we do have the money, knock on Bayern Munich store and rob him. Bring back Kim Min-jae, 100%. And striker, 100%, because we're going to talk about the striker position next. What is Alien Tenor saying? Just pay money to Qatar. Yep. Listen, I'm so far behind. Yes, you are. Alice, you're from Cape Town. Big up to you. Safa, Springboks. Madhouse is in the house. I've referred to you earlier, Madhouse, that both you and me were saying about the Brazilian reports regarding Anthony Dos Santos, that he dropped out. If you remember, mate, if you remember. Morning all, Bayern will go down if they buy McTominay. Well, no, obviously McTominay will go to Fulham if we are lucky. Yeah, I can see you here there. I can see you there. Listen, I'm so behind. I just want to shout out to see King Stash is here as well. Big up to you, King Stash, getting the sun. Chouameni is a player you can't compare with Rodri, Casado, Rice. Definitely the player type we should looking at for the January window. Big up. I absolutely. There's probably, as a community, we can debate. Going back to the original question, what you were saying there, my friend, regarding who we probably should sign. So Chouamini is somebody we should definitely look at and stay away from the Galactico players like Mbappe and all that stuff. We had enough of those dramas. Like, we want players that are willing to play for the shirt. We saw the interview with Sofian Amrabat when he got that question yesterday. What makes you so special? Like, what's your traits? And he said, I don't like to talk about myself. I like to show it on the pitch. And you can tell that he's a Manchester United fan. Like, the boy literally went on strike for 3 months, rejected every single deal. He only wanted to play for his papa, Eric Ten Hag, and Manchester United. And boy, am I excited about that. We only want players that are willing to play for this badge. That's it. Enough of these prima donnas. Enough of these porcelain dolls. They only care about, the brand, social brand image, releasing rap singles and doing moonwalks in the Emirates and all that stuff. Ain't simply working. The youngsters getting thrown big money. They're multi-billionaires, and all they have to do is, hang on, you get paid to play football, not to be a social media influencer. Unfortunately, this is the modern society we're living today, people. Smash a like for Marky as well. Marcos Leonardo is going to be lit. Yes. Listen, I am delayed because you guys are talking to me. We're having a fantastic conversation. Morning to you, Anna Rule. How are you? Watching all the way from KL. Kuala Lumpur, get in there, my son. I used to live in Kuala Lumpur for 2.5 years. Guess what? I used to live in Kepong. Yeah, there's a Park City. If you know what I'm talking about. Teramakasi, Sama Sama. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. My heart, I love KL. I love Malaysia. And I should see you very soon there because I'm going over in the winter as well. Listen, Barman is here as well. God, this turns out to be more talking to you guys as a community than talking about the news. Get rid of the old players, our club becoming retirement home, and the library FC as well, loaning up to players. All signings and appointments from Ed Woodward era must be gone. 100%. I agree with you, Barman. No, big up to you. Shout out for KL in the house. If you do check out, if you go back in my video description, you can see that I was in Kuala Lumpur, about 5 months ago, did videos from there as well. I went over and I met with the Manchester United fan base in, where did I go? Jesus, where did I go? When you have nice street food and stuff like that. Anyway, it's too early. But I met up with the Manchester United fan base over there. A massive fan base in KL, massive fan base in Asia in general. Right? So we're lit. We are Shrina in the house. Morning to you, mate. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, enough of shouting out. Let's go back to the story of Marcus Leonardo. You see, me and Jarvis Cocker, that's in the VR room. Shout out to to Jarvis as well. We were the first one to start doing scouting reports regarding Marcus Leonardo. We picked it up early. Same with Sofia Namrabat, and we got that one over the line by working with Alfredo Pedula. Now, it was heavily reported in the window. It's kind of not a little bit, but we kind of did a video about it. So go in the video description in the video section and look at about Marcus Leonardo. But now, obviously, we were linked to him. Roma was linked to him. That deal fell through. Roma didn't sign it. They went for other strikers. We were looking at him, but we didn't have the time at the end of the window, basically because of the Greenwood situation. Greenwood came very, very late with his move to Getafe. You know, that situation took a lot of time for the club to sort it out. So that was a shambles, according to my opinion. And apparently, Greenwood commercially has a clause in his loan deal that he's available to return in January. So we will see how that played out. But 100% came out yesterday as well, but multiple reports, according to Gazzetta dello Sport and MUFCMB, to say Manchester United want to sign Santos striker Marcus Leonardo in January window, and they're willing to pay more than 20 million plus 5 add-ons that Roma offer for the Brazilian in the summer. Well, this is also reported, if you go into the next story as well, that just to prove that it has legs, because it come also out from Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy. They say the Manchester United are ready to offer 20 million plus 5 in bonus for the Brazilian striker Marcus Leonardo in the summer. Of course. Now we have to look at connecting the dots, right? We were heavily linked with him in the summer window. We couldn't get all our business done. We couldn't get off Scott McTominay off the books. We couldn't ship off the likes of Harry Maguire. The Mason Greenwood situation was very late in how they decided, and his loan moon came like, what, at the deadline day, right? So how was it possible for us then to go and sign Marcus Leonardo? At the end of the day, Santos needs money, right? But they also said, well, we're not willing to let you go this now, but we promise that you can go in the January window. So, guys, I want to hear from you in the comments as well. I want to hear from you, because this is a striker that is a very, very exciting prospect. He's only like 20 years of age, but he made his debut when he was 16. He's been playing like 4 years for Santos, right? He made over 200 appearances in the Brazilian league. If you compare it to Scott McTominay, that has made about 220 appearances for Manchester United, and Scott McTominay is 27, that tells you the facts. He scored about 16 goals last season. He's a goal machine. He's regular starter for Brazilian under 21. But if you look at the scouting videos, if you go back into our video as well, you can see what he's all about. Like, he offers something completely different in terms of what Rasmus Højlund does. He's a very tenacious player. He's very fast. Comparing to, how do I say? It's like a Anthony Martial on the younger version. Like, he's very quick. He's very good. He's very like technical. He can shoot. He can dribble. He's very explosive. He always runs out to the right. He runs the channels. Like, he's always there. He's a goal poacher as well. At the end of the day, he offers something different off the bench. So people say, oh, well, Mick, he is too young. Well, hang on a second. We're building for the future. At the end of the day, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And we should definitely look at the potential striker. Now, people are saying like, oh, no, this is not the signing that Manchester United typically do. We never pick them up from the grassroots. Well, hang on a second. Pause. Ajax, for instance, when Ten Hag managed, they picked up these grassroots players all the time. Where did Licha come from? Where did Anthony dos Santos come from? Where did these all Brazilian and Latin America players come from? Who was the coach at Ajax? Erik Ten Hag. Where's Ten Hag managing now? Manchester United. Ten Hag, before he became a manager, he was actually a player scout. So he has an eye for talent. And that's the thing, peeps. I want to see what you guys are saying as well. Let me catch up what you guys are saying regarding that. Yes, you say you can't wait to meet here in the winter. Absolutely, mate. Give us a shout. I will give us a shout, give us a follow, and we definitely hook up and we do some content together. Definitely we'll travel over to KL, because I'm going to stay in Thailand, in Phuket as well. So if you do come over to Phuket, come and visit me there as well. 31 likes. Get those likes button ups. Get those likes up. Almac, if you're going to do durian in Malay, no durian, no, forget about durian. That's stinky. Very popular, but I know it's a weird fruit. Very tasty though, but it smells like Swedish surströmming, like rotten fish in a fruit way. 50 likes is bare minimum. What you guys are saying. Let me catch up what you're saying. He's a Julian Alvarez, but more physical. 100%. He's a stocky player. He's only 176 centimeters tall. I don't want to pull up the stats and figures right now. I just want to talk to you about Marcus Leonardo. Looked like to be the potential elite striker in the future. 100%. I mean, bear in mind that we're building a squad for the future as well. Bear in mind that we are pulling in the ranks of the players like Kobe Maino. We have Pelistri there. We have the likes of Amad Diallo as well. We have world beaters. They just need a chance to develop. What are you guys saying, Billy? Makes your videos was brilliant, Leonardo. The guys was chipping goalkeepers. Like, yeah, he's a chipper. Yeah, guys. What Billy was saying, he's seen the video, so go check it out. Actually, I don't have the time to paste the link there right now. I'm totally by myself. What Ale Mac is saying, Gift Orban is an exciting prospect. He averaged a goal a game. We should have assigned him. was available for 20 million pounds, 100%. You know, a lot of people were expecting those sexy signings like get Osman and get like Hurricane 100, pay the 100 silly money, 150. Like, look, we got Amrabat for 10 million in loan fee, and we're going to pay him, right? We're going to pay Fiorentina 20 plus 5 add-ons altogether. And Amrabat, in terms of you comparing the stats to Casado, to Declan Rice's, his output are the same or even better. The only thing good difference is his area ability is not the same, right? But God, what a business we did. We paid like 10 million for these guys, and those plonkers paid 100 million plus. So definitely, if we can get like a striker for 20 million, 25, and that turned out to be a goal, world beater, like a Casada did when they brought in him from Brighton, from the grassroots leagues. But they paid 5 million quid for him, and look what he sold him for. Pure profit, over 100 million. People, get in there, son. We should definitely do those kind of businesses. Marky say we don't need more wingers, we need strikers, 100% and centre backs. And this is alluding to what I was talking about earlier when I got the question. I don't think we need more midfielders. I think we need centre back and a striker to complete the squad. Amrabat, what do you say? Amrabat's outperformed Rice and Conference League final. He did. He did, Kenny. Definitely did. Eliantano, only Bellingham was worth the price. Guy is a beast. Absolutely smack. Jude Bellingham is a specimen that shows that mental application. If you're dedicated, you train hard. You know, he went as a youngster, as a 16-year-old to Dortmund. He showed what he can do, and now he's ripping up trees at Real Madrid, showing what he's worth. If you compare him to Jadon Sancho, in a way, I mean, Jude Bellingham is only focusing on football. I don't see him doing a lot of social TikToking and stuff like that. But if you look at him and with comparing to Jadon Sancho, that had a similar path, went for Manchester City Academy, went to Dortmund, ripped up trees at Dortmund, started dilly-dally, got a pay, got fame, got all that stuff, got to his head, came to Manchester United for big move, hasn't really ripped up trees, you know? 2.5 years has passed. What have we seen? Nothing. Ten Hag is kind of saying, well, he wasn't my signing. I signed Anthony Dos Santos. The reason per se what he plays Anthony, according to my opinion, over Sancho, because Anthony offers more than just offensively. He tracks back. He's very tenacious going back as well. So he's a complete winger. Jadon Sancho, on the other hand, showed that.
Shit. Here we go again.
Angie Musk just gifted 5 memberships.
Big up to Angie gifted. Big up. Let's me see who became a member. Big up to Angie who became a member. Listen, shout out for Angie for giving membership. Air OB7 just became a member. I can see you. Anyway, we're gonna talk into the story, but big up to Angie for giving the memberships. A big applause to you. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're talking about the outputs and abilities. So basically, Sancho doesn't offer that track back, and he's been reported being a little bit lazy in training. And if the manager calls him out to say, look, you're not getting picked by merits in training, or your outputs in the on the pitch is what matters, right? So at the end of the day, I'm not going to play you. Work harder than last time, prove yourself, and stay away from social media. And the fact is that he wasn't his signing anyway, so he gave him still chances. Ten Hag, has been doing more in his power to sort of recuperate players. We've seen the improvements of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Show me that you can play, son. Everyone that's gone away, proven, has been given chances, right? Sancho is a different story. There's something fishy about it. For him to come out to say he's been scapegoated. What have you been scapegoated for? I don't understand. All it is work harder than last time, prove yourself, and don't air your dirty linen in the public. There you go. I spoke about it. Big up for everyone. Big up Angie for sending memberships. Let me know who became a member as well. I miss my Jarvis in the VR room. I saw TikTok clips with Sancho, where Sancho wants 100%. Wasn't doing proper push-ups. No, 100%. You see the punishment of Eric Ten Hag. Listen, at the end of the day, that's it. Nothing more to report other than my computer screen died when I had my notes on. But let me know if you think what you think at the end of the day. What do you think is going to happen to Sancho? There's been reports saying that a Saudi bid might be happening. You know, I certainly believe that Gaffa and Sancho should sit down, have a coffee, talk it over, and see what we can do. But from a player squad, from my personal view, and I never been a player FC. I like to see Ten Hag to play the best player that's in form, not based on favoritism, not based on social media profile, not based on what the fan base want. Just pick your best team who is in form, right? If Anthony's not informed, drop him. If Sancho is not informed, drop him. If Rashford is not informed, drop him like a bomb and play Garnacho, play the youth, play Palestri, play Maino. That's what it is. Always create competition, right? If you're not good enough, sit it out. Like, make yourself hungry. Come in and play again. We saw what happened with Rashford when he was late for 2 minutes. Disciplined, right? The manager sets the tone, right? You got to apply his rules and appearances. If you're not following, out. Out. Simple as that. And bear this in mind regarding with the Jadon Sancho story. So he's totally undermined the rules and principles of Ten Hag. And now he has the audacity to call him out. Absolutely disgrace. I back the manager at any given Sunday. 100%. What are you guys saying here? Some guys say never rated Sancho, overhyped. Yeah, but breaking news. I mean, I feel a little bit that we got conned by the CEO of Dortmund. They sold us Jadon Sancho's evil twin brother, Jason Sancho. So the question is, 75 million euro question is, where is Jadon? Where is my Jadon? It's not the Jadon that we signed from Dortmund. I haven't seen it. He's not getting picked by England squad either. So there must be something. I mean, if you dive into the history of things, if you really start thinking, why is Southgate not picking him? Why has he been a trouble at Dortmund as well? Like, it was a little bit of a petulant there as well. Didn't rock up for trading. He was a little bit sloppy. Yeah, maybe some people are calling him lazy. And that reminds me a little bit of the mental issues what we saw on the back end with Dele Alli as well. Like, he looked like he was a little bit disinterested. It was more about party, hanging out with mates. I don't know, those kind of things. And it saddens me to see. At the end of the day, football, money and football and youngsters has kind of destroyed the mental ability, and they become like porcelain dolls, like they're fragile, you know. And you have the same generation that are kind of millennials. What do you call them before millennials that kind of grew up in the same and backing the player more than the club? It's sad. It's sad state of affairs. At the end of the day, it's the jungle law. Like what Ten Hag says, it's what has to stick, people. That's my opinion, professional opinion. What are you saying here, Marky Mark? I think non-footballers' criticism footballers train is ridiculous in sports. The best athletes and usual the stars always have special treatment or regimes in historical. But it comes down to taking constructive feedback, right? How are you going to improve if you cannot take criticism? Imagine yourself at work, Mark. Like, if your boss says, Mark, I'm not happy with your performance, level up, or we will put you on a performance review. 10 weeks, and we will set KPIs and targets that I want you to achieve. If you not achieve those at the end of those 10 days, then probably you end up without a job. If you know what I mean. The same thing applies to footballers at the end of the day. Like, if you're not performing, I mean, basically you're employed. This is your salary. This is your job, right? If you're not performing, take it aside, do a performance manager 10 days, no, 10 weeks, improve yourself. And if you prove yourself, you're back into the squad, back into the rings. Simon Heron said German league is awful, and that's why he looks so good. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to do, a comparison with Jude Bellingham there as well. Was it more that Jude Bellingham was a better talent than Jason Sancho? Because Jude Bellingham went there the same conditions as a youngster, 16-year-old, totally alone, ripped up trees there at Dortmund. He listened. He was professional and got his big money move to Real. And now they even saying he's even better than Zidane, the best signing that Real, that the La Liga has ever seen. He's destined definitely for greater heights. So I think at the end of the day, as a football agent, what I'm always advise, you have the ability, you have the capability, but whatever happens, it's up to you. Work hard, stay focused, don't stay distracted, don't got party, because football is a job. It's what Sofian Amrabat said in the interview yesterday when he was asked the question, what do you do when you're not playing football? What do you do to relax? And he said, honestly, I don't really know, because football is the way of life. You know, I eat, I sleep, I think football. This is my life. 100% smashing comment, what he said. My jaw dropped to the floor. That's professionalism, right? This is what you're getting paid for. You chose this career. And who knows when that career is going to end, if you get a busted kneecap or a groin injury or whatever. You know what I mean? So until you have the legs and ability to play, dedicate yourself to play. We saw the Lionheart Zlatan play to 41, but he took care of his diet. He took care of his body, you know. Ronaldo the same, you know. That's your profession. And after that, career is finished, then you can focus on your, social image, branding, launching the latest sneakers, underwear, whatever you want to do, right? Appear as a pundit on BT Sport, talk gob shit and stuff like that. I don't know what you want to do, but right here, right now, you're a footballer. If you offered me a contract to play for Manchester United, God, I would give my everything, 100%, 100%. Right. Listen, I just want to catch up what Almac is saying here as well. I don't think Sancho suits United. He suits possession football, whereas he can play transition football. He's just not athletic enough for a system. He also doesn't have a good striker to feed. Almac, maybe you have a point there, Almac. Maybe he's not suited for the Premier League at all. Maybe he's more suited for a La Liga type, a Barcelona style, a Real Madrid, more tiki-taka style, right? I don't think he's the type of Premier League player. He doesn't track back, and there was instances where, of course, he's more assertive right now. He's more aggressive. We saw him in the preseason, but before I call him the turtle, like, and a turtle has his house on his back, as we know, and now and then turtle sticks out his neck, but when he's afraid, he sticks the head back into the house to protect himself, and that was kind of Jadon Sancho. So I do hope there is a resolution, because there is a player in Jadon Sancho, but it's all down to Jadon himself and his own mental ability and capability. The manager is there to provide them the tool. The training staff is there to provide assistance and tool to improve. But if you don't want to improve yourself as a player, if you back yourself to say, "No, I'm bigger than the club," like Harry Maguire, you're seriously going to be in trouble, my friend. And perhaps, to go to Saudi to play is a downgrade itself. But we will see what the window is offering, because the Saudi window is still open and the Turkish window is open. Ayush Jill is here to say, and with Amrabat, this midfield will be a nuclear bomb. Boom! That's a smashing comment, Ayush. That's exactly what we're missing. We are definitely missing Amrabat in that midfield. And it's sad to see we played 4 games, 6 points out of 9. If we had a number about early stages, we wouldn't have been overrun in that midfield. So definitely, I'm very excited for the future prospect, to get an Amrabat in, to get Kobe Maino in that midfield. All of a sudden, we have options in the midfield. We have depth in the midfield, right? You can elaborate, play Christian Eriksen in number 10, rest Bruno Fernandes. I mean, Bruno played every single game last season. Remember, he needs the rest as well. We don't want to have a broken Bruno at the end of the day. So you can have instances where you can play Ericsson as a number 10 or Mason Mount as a number 10. You can shuffle a bit like a cards, right? All of a sudden we have options. So that's why I'm saying I don't think we need to sign a midfielder like a Palhinha in there. I certainly believe that our focus should be to get this guy, Marcus Leonardo, and also to get in a centre back. Now, who that centre back will be, I don't know. Maybe you should know. Drop a comments there. Like, who do you think, if we go for centre back, who would that be? Who is could be a Varane replacement, because I think Varane is singing on his last verse. I think Varane would probably go to Saudi Arabia at the end of the day. So we need to find a Varane replacement ASAP. Good example what you are saying, Ronaldo, 100%. And let me see, Jolly Malmin at the end of the day. Oh, Manchester United female team just got the fantastic. Yes, they got a fantastic signing. I saw that. Yes, I saw that too, brother. I did. Good that you mentioned that. Like, I saw that in one football app. Let me see, where did I see that? I read something about that. They signed a exciting football female player. Unfortunately, female football players don't get enough media coverage. Maybe we should start covering that as well. Um, what are you saying, Jamie Van? We had pedo coaching at this club, no words, and it's now we're not going to talk about that. That's just speculations. I use Shield. Please don't talk about those things. That's I don't want to mention about those kind of words in this chat room. Please, Jamie, remove that. Lukaku Depay do better rapping. Yeah, Lukaku and Depay all do better rapping. These football players have millions in the pocket. Ego will come when pocket carries some weight, and if age is younger, ego will go faster, faster, faster. Yeah, we see like Lukaku rapping and J-Ling or J-Lings or whatever. What are we saying here, people? Before we close the shop, Sancho has caused us nothing but bad luck. We never should have signed him. Hopefully now Palestra will have his chance to prove to Eric Ten Hag that he owns the spot 100%. We will never get Bellingham. No, not even Liverpool will get Bellingham, to be honest. Mo Hamza in the house. Big up to you. How's things in Qatar? Ramo is saying Tuamor or Anderson from Palace. Good shout as well. Chouamini would be my dream midfield signing if you go for a midfielder because he's still young, right? And still ripping up the tree. For me, what I usually saying for me is for me, Mount is a better right winger than number 8. He will give a better competition to Anthony. Mount is coming out from long injury and will be 100%. Well, how many games did Mount play last season? Not many. I don't think so. So I I certainly believe that there is a player in Mount, and we haven't seen the best of him as yet. So he's just basically finding. No worries, Jamie. I appreciate it. Thanks. No talking about pedos and stuff like that. I don't want to do that because of YouTube algorithm. Almac, what happening with Van de Beek? Why he's not playing well? The window is still open. There's some reports saying that he might go. I saw something this morning. He's not being mentioned in the Champions League squad. So the Turkish window is still open. Saudi League is still open. We will see. I wish him all the best. I really rate Van de Beek. He had very bad luck at Manchester United. I mean, he was such a fantastic player. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely destroyed him. He didn't pick him. It was just favoritism. Went to Everton and ripped up some trees, got some injury, came back, scored the first goal. Got that horrible scissor tackle and broke his knee. Mate, what a bad career he had. What a bad luck. So wish him all the best. I really enjoy Van der Beek, and I want him to do best. So even if it's a loan, go get out there, play some football, son. Come back, prove that you can play for Eric Ten Hag, and off we go. Otherwise, we have the likes of Hannibal in the team as well, who is very tenacious. Ayush, how you going? How did you go with your PhD? Did you finish your paper? Let me know as well. We better sell Sancho for 50 million and sign Bueno from Brentford. Good shout as well. I feel Qatari by November, is Kenny. Well, we will see. Yalla Habibi, Yalla Habibi. I certainly hope so. By October, November, the deal should be completed. Simon Heron is saying Almak, he's out for the squad. He's going to Turkey. Yes. Is this the breaking news regarding Van de Beek? He's going to Turkey. Hope so. Hope so for the best of him. Noah is in the house. Poor Donny. Yes, Alien, I see poor Donny, definitely. Noah, what are you saying? I have no spirit to watch Manchester United again until new owner come in. It's up to you, my friend. I will always back the club. I will always watch the games. Win, lose, draw, win, lose, show. It hurts, but I always back my team. I always watch it. I never miss a game unless I have some unprecedented flight to catch or it happens, right? A fun fact is that I missed the brilliant PSG game. Remember when we had that comeback, right? When Lukaku scored, and I was on a flight to Malaysia. I missed it, and that was an iconic game, right? in the Champions League. Simon Heron, months better as a left back in the changing room, 100%. Guys, big up, smash the like, people. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. If you want to donate me a coffee, please feel free. You have the link there as well. If you want to drop a super chat, super like, become a member, like brilliant Angie just gifted 5 membership. So grateful for you, Angie. Big up to you. It's been just me rambling along. What are you saying, Stephanie Griffith? Before we close the shop, we need to have the transfer window, this TV creation stopping us, other teams getting rid of problematic players all year round. Go back to the old days, 100%. Listen, thank you. I have nothing more to say. It is quite of dry on the news window at the moment. Denmark is playing tonight. Definitely going to look forward to watch Rasmus Højlund a little bit. Usually, I don't like international football breaks. I hate it when it happens, but I think it's a good chance to sort of take a break from the club, take a break from Premier League, and just enjoy family life and stuff like that. But I certainly don't want to go in and do more of this speculative content regarding rumors. This is not what we are about. We as a community love talk about football. Manchester United, we like to keep it real. Norway is also playing today, what you are saying. Yes, Norway is playing too, but Norway plays at 7 p.m. and Denmark at 21. 100%, I'm going to tune into Norway as well as a fellow Scandinavian. No if buts and maybe, hopefully against Brighton, to be honest. Yes, 100% NG. Listen, guys, big up. Let's do a Højlund watch tonight. Let's give him a big shout out. Let's hope he scores. Last time he played, I think he scored a hat-trick for Denmark. Absolutely beast. Looking forward for that game as well. But guys, as per usual, stay cool, composed, and calm, and don't let the media outlets bite you. Mental health is a big issue, and I want you to stay fit. I want you to stay positive and come back again for more positive content. It's been Mick Ruby here having my say, and hopefully, guys, Ireland will play France. No. I made your day. Peace, love, and banana, people. And please tell others about this video. We should see you till next time. Bye for now.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.